Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, it's for me a real pleasure to be here, not only because the environment and the marvelous country and the place we stay is wonderful, but also because I am able to share horsemanship with many of you. And for me, this is a very important question. I only have a big problem to come here. And it's that when I say to my horse that I will stay in the stable, he wants to come with me. Say, this is an équi-meeting, so horse must be able to. Anyway, he understands that I am doing this work to help tourist equestrian, but I want to thank him many experiences he gave to me during the day we spent in equestrian tourist journey. Anyway, in my presentation, what I will try to speak is just 3 main points. First one is, perhaps we talk about equestrian tourism, but you can say the tourist de cheval or tourist equestrian. So I want to change the order, and I want to talk a little bit about tourism. I will show how equestrian tourism is categorized between the equestrian and the tourist, and show some example of how Spain can contribute or what type of activity you can do in Spain. In fact, if you remember this definition, what is very interesting, probably all of you know, but this is a complex. Equestrian tourism is something of gastronomy, climate, culture. People, it's a complex demand. And people like to when they are going to tourists, they go to get most of the time they spend and the money they spend. But in this field, we are very happy also that the broad concept of equestrian tourism, what is it, probably you know, they mean as 2 points. One is when you move on horse, equestrian tourism, you move on horse, or when you move with you to see something or to do something on horse. I think we are now here in equestrian tourism, not on horse, but by the horse. And this is my point, that the tourist is related, equestrian tourism is related to tourism, because we can share many infrastructure and many things. And this is the cake of the tourists. And you can see many of the countries, they have these big tourist figures. They also have, or can have, all the equestrian tourism, France. But what is the key point to see how many equestrian tourists can be in the country? Well, I think it's a relationship between horse industry and equestrian tourism. So many of the things you told these days is related with this. How is the horse sector? I don't listen many things about tourist industry, but I think you all have in mind. And my hypothesis, as bigger is the tourist sector, like France, bigger could be the equestrian tourism, if the link between sectors are established. What I think good example are France in many cases. But the equestrian tourism can be very different. I think we talk today like a big umbrella of equestrian tourism. We talk horseback riding, and you can categorize like it's a sport, it's recreation, it's competition, it's natural in the natural tourism, etc. And I think it's, for me, one of the conclusions I take is we must be very comprehensive of equestrian tourism. Sometimes somebody like one thing, other people like another equestrian tourism, but all are equestrian tourists. And we must not to say, okay, this is not, I do this, but in all the analysis and in the future we must be to integrate all. Like participant, like a spectator, like business or stakeholder, etc. In this, I also am interested in show that at the end, for me, the equestrian tourism is something that have the key of the tourists, that they get the money from one place and they put in another. This is why we say we can develop countryside or rural area, etc. And the question tourists permit that the expenses they do in the horse or just to keep the horse in some place can be improved if you move the horse. The horse that is in a place, in the mountain, the impact is very, very small. If you have doing things the horse, training in a stable, well, they spend more money, they have more economic impact. But if you also move the horse, you get more impact. We same some approach, and they spend about 20% more one horse if they move. In average, they get more 20% impact. And this can be in rural place and in a very interesting place. And also, it's important we move the horse, but also it's important when the people move to see the horse. Both sides, both directions, create impact tourism. Many of the people, this is umbrella, they have many things. And we don't think every place must do everything, because specialization is something we learn in economics. And perhaps some place can be endurance or 3-day eventing. Another place can be horse fair or equestrian tradition. And probably if we are able to combine all this, the equestrian tourism will grow, not only inside the country, but in bigger area like European place. So this is what we want to talk in this context about Spain. This is the Spain horse industry. This is the equus, and you see the biggest is Germany, or horse is Sweden or France. That means a picture as the data, the equus 2001, but it can be the biggest horse industry sector. Spain is in the second level, it's in the middle. But if we look in the last year and the year with the crisis, we can see the figure, this is official of Ministry of Agriculture, that many of the figures are growing. And it's a crisis system. They're growing the breed and selection, they are growing equestrian practical center, etc. And they are growing the number of horses in Spain. And that means that sometimes the categories is not very clear. For example, we can show, like in many of the equestrian centers, they do some practice of tourists. Or many of the riding centers, they move horse and they include. So what my thesis is that this growing sector in a bad economic condition can show us that the sector is strong, that it's moving ahead. They have problems, sure, but they are also the ability to grow in bad condition. And in this moving of the Spanish, you can see also the horse, if you see in all the analysis from different regions in Spain, about 50% are in Andalusia, and they are growing in the last year. They are growing 50% Andalusia. And it's a very interesting thing that many of the horses are in the south of Spain, in the west, in Extremadura, but the right are in Madrid, in Barcelona. So we need to move, and this is a good thing to improve the economic impact. I go fast for this reason, and there are two main studies survey, doing one in 203 and one in 305, the second in Andalusia. But from this, the summary of this is that the main market region are south. Most of the people can like to do in the south because the weather and there is a very good condition. And in Catalonia, which is very similar to other countries in Europe. Most of the people, 20%, they only 10% do long riding, more 3 days riding, and they 25% make only short rider, probably staying in some rural place, and less of 2 or 3 days. But they also do clinic and some experience outside with horses. And there's big people who do what we call equestrian tradition activity. This equestrian tradition activity is doing most for national. But I want to remark one thing. In any sector, equestrian tourism, the domestic demand must be the basic, and foreign demand that can complete. But this, if we are thinking to bring people just from outside, will be a fracassus that don't work really. In any of these places I am going to show, I'm going to just put some example. It will be very long to fix a catalog of, but I want to show you some example of what I mean, the main question people came to make equestrian tourism and how I consider we can organize this, all the field, this very, very wide. The first one is what we call, many people are interested in pure Spanish horses. And we can do a lot of things in many places with the breed, etc. And I have written an article, say, discover Spain over and Spanish, pure Spanish horses. Well, this is, so you can, I say, well, it's a good point to start in my city, in Córdoba city, where it was created by the King Philip II, this special thoroughbred pure Spanish horse. You can see, because not only the people like to see the place, but they want to see the historical place. So Córdoba have many, many attractions for tourists, and people you can start there. You can do horseback riding around, etc. But you can see also equestrian show. Now they do in this stable, where this is a marvelous stable, passion and the spirit of Andalusian horses. And you can go there to visit many things, riding horse. And for example, the carriage. Yesterday somebody talked about that. I think in Andalusia only there are more 5,000 carriages for tourists. In Córdoba you can ride carriages in Seville, in Malaga, in many places. I mean tourist carriage, no public sector. This is a public for the public. There are another big of carriage private that you can use. From there, I think you can visit many of the breeders. I bring this breeder with this stupid Cárdenas because they have now one very famous horses, with this Fuego. What this is in the Olympic, it will go in the Olympic game. But you can visit. There is visit for the people, and they can show you. And many of these all stood. You can also this is about 15 kilometers from Córdoba, and you can go from Córdoba to Écija by a green way, what they say, all railways way that they put out, and you can go by horse. We do several times. Also, you can see another stoop, what is very famous, which is La Cartuja. This is now a state stoop, was the terry horses, as in Jerez, and this is incredible. They have a show with this, the Carthusian horse. Well, this is a kind, they say they are different from the pure Spanish horse, but they are I think we are very similar. But it's amazing how many people go there. I go very fast. And don't forget the SICAP, what is the Salon the pure Spanish horse. Some figures here, how it is important for the equestrian sector, but also for the tourists. People who go there, they are breeding in 67 countries. And finally, you can go to the School of Art of Jerez. I think a couple of years ago was a meeting between Samur and Jerez in Madrid. It was a very interesting exhibition. Well, this is the Jerez School was created with the tourist aim in his creation. It's not, they do other things, but they have a lot of dressage and trying to improve. And, well, I think the other way to visit Spain is what we call a story route. Sometimes this is a channel of Castilian, but I think you can see also the Compostela. I mentioned only two very fast, two-way. Compostela, I see in Paris, they are the tower, they start there. And many, well, depending on the year, the Compostelan year is 4 years, 15,000 horses came, and many are from France. France people go there. But you can also go from the south to the north, and this is the Mozarabic way. Well, this is the via of the silver here. It's very interesting, and you can find business who do this fast. They are also. You can travel through Spain. Have the largest cattle road from the Middle Age, and they still have a lot of them. 1 minute fast, you can go. All these, they are 9 city, etc. They are updating, and now it's 5,000 kilometers. Well, but this is the tradition. This is in Andalusian only, the percentage of horses that are using in horse exhibition, 4,000, and the number of ferias what they do. The most important is the Huelva, what this is the El Rocío, with more 70,000 horses in the meeting of this equestrian tradition. Well, this is, for example, one picture, hundreds of people there. And, well, I want to be very subtle. This is the impact, in 3 days, impact economic of this place. And the last one is natural. There's some equestrian that the horse is the third or the second preference between people who go to national park. This is the national park, but there is other natural area. 6% of area in Spain are with some protection. And this is how you can see the place, rural place you can stay. Well, I just finished that the conclusion, well, with this photograph, this is the bridge making by Eiffel in one of the old railways. And you can, if you see in the top, we are walking through there, but this is near Cordoba, where this is the railway of the olive oil. And, well, I think equestrian tourism is a big business for many people, but they can impact in the rural area. And what I try to show is that you can combine everything and don't forget anything and put everything together, because we are a big team if we do things much more together. Thank you very much.